going to go on today and demonstrate our leg routine so that you can know how to work out in any gym and know which exercises to do safely in developing your legs. So thank you for taking the time to watch this little commentary. We're going to go on to our first exercise. We'll see you in a minute. Okay, so here we are at our first exercise for your legs. This is my beautiful wife, Myrna, and she's going to demonstrate because I don't feel like working out today. And so she's going to show you how we do this exercise correctly. What's most important when you do this is that you get a full range of motion and take your time. I see a lot of people going into the gym and they throw on a ton of weight because a leg extension is actually pretty easy to do. But the problem is they tend to go really fast, they don't go all the way up, and before long they begin to complain that their knees are hurting. Why? Because they're overdoing it and they're not doing it correctly. So we're going to do a few repetitions here. The most important part, go ahead sweetness, all the way up and then all the way down. Make sure you just barely tap the plates and then back up again. So there's 2. We're going to do 6 and 3. Good, good, good. And 4 and just 2 more. 5 and 1 more. Too fast, a little bit slower. Good. And just like that. And that's all there is to this exercise. We'll meet you at the next exercise. Okay, so here we are at the leg press. In our first episode, when we had my friend Jeff Jeans here, you saw this exercise being performed by him. We're going to perform it again today so that you understand again how this works. So first and foremost, you always want to make sure that your feet are positioned correctly, which is usually just about shoulder width and slightly turned out. By turning them out slightly, you get the whole thigh instead of the outer thigh or the inner thigh or whatever. The moment you start changing the position of your feet, it's going to affect the way that you are working the muscle. So now, we're going to go ahead and get going. Slow on the way down. Come down as deep as you possibly can and then all the way back up. Lock your knees, back down again. Now, you'll hear some trainers say, oh no, you should never lock your knees. Of course you should. You don't want to snap your knees, but you want to put them in a locked position so you're getting a full range of motion. So here's 3. We're going to do 3 more, make it 6. And there's 4. There's 5, 1 more, and there's 6. And handles in. So again, when you do this exercise, or any of the exercises that we're showing you, depending on what your goal is, you may decide to do 6 repetitions or 4 repetitions with a fairly heavy amount of weight because you want to build muscle. But if you're someone like me who's 60 years old, I don't want to do that anymore. All I want to do is be in the best condition that I can be in. So in order to achieve that, I'll keep my repetitions as low as 10 and I might go as high as 20. I'm not concerned with the amount of weight that I'm using anymore because I'm no longer a bodybuilder. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next exercise. Okay, so now here we are at the Cybex leg press. Now, your gym may not have a Cybex. It might have an Icarian, it might have a Bodymaster, but every gym is going to have a leg apparatus very similar to this. And even the one that we were just on, every gym is going to have it. So, when you do this exercise, you want your starting position to be where your bottom is either parallel or just below your knees. Then, once you get going, your first set, because you might decide to do 2 or 3 sets. If you do that, on your first set, your feet are going to be together. Why? Because that works mostly the outer thigh, known as the vastus lateralis. Your second set, you might separate your feet at shoulder width. And then your third set, which we'll show you in just a minute, is called a frog squat, where your feet are really wide and way out, and that gets more of the medialis here and the inner thigh, which is known as the gracilis. So our first set, we're just going to do 4. So here we go. There's 1. And again, you always want to get to the top and just drop the knees into place and then all the way back down. You don't want the knees to snap. You want them to just drop into place. So there's 4. Now we're going to come down and we're going to separate the feet about shoulder width. And now we're going to do another 4. So there's 1, and there's 2, and there's 3, and 1 more, 4. And then we're going to lower the feet and we're going to put them all the way, just a little bit higher. And we're actually going to do this exercise where the toes are not on the plate. So you can see how wide her knees are. And as she comes down, it's going to work more of the bottom, more of the inner thigh, and then more of the medialis right here. So 4 more, and then we're done with this exercise. So there's 1, and 2, slow it down, and 3. It should always be done slowly. And 4, good, come on down. And we'll see you at the next exercise. So here we are at the next exercise. Surprisingly, we're on the same machine. But on this exercise, we can work your calves. So you'll notice I've adjusted the seat so that we're not all the way down at the bottom. And now we're going to go ahead and push out gently, very carefully locking the knees. The heels are off the plate because we're going to work the calves. So now we're going to come down and we're going to stretch the heel as far as we can, and then we're going to go all the way up to our tippy toes. We're going to do that 4 times, so down and back up, down, there's 3, and there's 4. Then of course you just bend the knees, gently come down to the plates touch, and that's our first exercise for the calves. We'll see you in a minute for the next one. So here we are at the next exercise for the calves. And so once again, you'll see my wife, she has her foot just so that the ball of the foot is on the plate. The heels are not there. Then we're going to gently push up, lock the knees. Nope, we're not going to bring the handles down. We're going to leave the handles up because sometimes, believe it or not, and I've seen it happen, somebody could be doing this exercise, they're not paying attention, and all of a sudden, their feet slip off and the carriage comes down. So you want to leave the handles up just to make certain that you have that safety net in place. So here once again, we're going to let them stretch really deep. See how far that goes? And then all the way up to your tippy toes, and then back down again, and then back up again. We're going to do it a total of 4 times. But again, now you may decide you want to do this 10, 12, 15, 16 times. But what matters is why you're doing as many reps as you're doing. So if you're trying to build muscle, again, you want to keep the repetitions between 4, 6, and maybe 8. But if you're just conditioning, or you want to get yourself into better condition, or you want to create a cardio environment, then you would do higher reps with no rest in between. Okay, so that's it for the calves. We're going to go on to one more exercise. Okay, so here we are at our last exercise for your legs. And this is called the seated leg curl. Every gym is going to have this because this leg curl is much more desired by members than the old lying leg curl. And I'm not going to show you the lying leg curl because most gyms don't have it anymore. But the problem with the lying leg curl is that so many people would use it incorrectly, and end up with a back injury. So with the seated leg curl, as long as you do it correctly, you should have no problem with it. Now, there are a couple of different adjustments on a seated leg curl. One is the Achilles pad, and that can be adjusted forward or backwards. You want to find the best adjustment for you where you feel the most secure, the most comfortable. Then there's the thigh pad. This pad comes up and down. So depending on how big your thighs are, will depend how far this goes down. Now once you're in place, your hands go here for safety, and then you curl it all the way down until you hear it tap. And then all the way back up. You're going to get a little bit of a hyperextension, that's okay. And then back down. And we're going to do a total of 4 times. So there's 2, there's 3, and 1 more, 4. Now watch how Myrna gets out. So come on up. She's going to raise the pad. That comes all the way up. Then she just slides out. Now the same way she got out is the same way she gets in. So all of this, again, as long as you do the exercises with a mindset of caution and moderation, you should do well in the gym. Now there's one exercise we didn't do, and it's a barbell squat. I didn't show it because most gyms are now getting away from power racks where you would have that bar. But the bottom line is that you don't need to do squats in order to develop your legs the way you want them to be developed. All you have to do is use these exercises that I gave you today, use them in moderation. As the exercises get easier, you start slowly increasing the weight. Because muscle is not going to develop if you don't challenge it. There's a term in physiology called overloading the muscle, where you are stressing the muscle enough to where you are causing it to grow. It's kind of like when you break a bone. When you break a bone and the bone grows back where it has been broken, it grows back bigger and stronger. It's the same way when you're using weights. You use a certain amount of weight to get started, you develop your strength and your endurance, and then you start adding weight to develop the muscle stronger. Now, some people, especially women, they say, well, I don't want to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to worry about that. That's not going to happen. Because bodybuilding is 100% genetics. So if you don't have the genetics, you can work out 4 hours a day and you're never going to be a bodybuilder. Secondly, in order for you to make a muscle grow, you have to feed it. So if you don't feed it, it's not going to grow, but it will get stronger. So remember all of this. Take these videos with you into the gym because this is your personal trainer. I am your personal trainer, and it doesn't cost you a penny. And if you follow everything the way that I've described to you or instructed you, you will be successful. So until next time, remember, a body moving is always a body improving. So we'll see you next time. Have a great day, and don't forget to watch us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.